And
Hi.
now you're live,
We're
so
inviting. So I think it's the one next. That one. There she is. Cheers. Hi, everybody. This is Chef Reyna here.
speak up.
Hi. How are you? I see people are joining. Thank you. We're here at the cooking school, La Cocina Que Canta. Thank you for joining. We're going to have Chef Reyna in a second. So good. We have 17. Good. So, how's everybody doing? Oh, hi. Good. We're going to start in a minute. Thank you for joining us. This is Chef Reyna here at the cooking school. Maybe you know me if you have been here cooking with us. We're here at this beautiful farm, Tres Estrellas Organic Farm. So you're going to be listening a little bit of noise maybe. We are in the middle of nature today. You might hear the gardeners working and some birds chirping. Botanical chef is unable to join. It says, wait. It's so yes, we're getting ready. There we go.
Hello, Chef.
Hi, how are you, Chef Nina?
Good. Can you see me?
Not yet. I can hear
Interesting.
you very well. Yeah. Oh, there you are.
Here
Hi.
I am. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited that you're coming soon.
I'm so excited, and thank you for having me. You know, when we spoke over a year ago, it seemed so far away, and here we are now.
Yes, the dream is coming true.
I love
I'm
it.
honored. So I would like to present you to our audience. We have people joining us, and it's such a pleasure to have you here with us virtually
Yes.
at this space. So I know I've been following you for years. I am your big fan, and like being a woman, like it's so inspiring to have people like you leading the culinary industry. So I always like to point out like how important your career is in the culinary industry, especially in the plant-based world, the healthy world, and for women also.
Thank you.
We truly appreciate that. And also, you have been, I want you to tell me everything about this, but I know that you have been cooking also at the White House for very important dinners. So we would like to know a lot about your career and your experience and how you're involved, like in the blue zones also. Like, I mean, what have you not done like during this 20 years that you have been working very hard? Um, so it's such a pleasure to have you. Thank you for sharing this couple minutes with us. And I would like to start by asking about your culinary passion. What led you into cooking and especially into the plant-based world?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I have to give you your flowers first, also, before I get started,
Oh,
because
that's
I
sweet.
think we, have known each other and followed each other for quite a while. So I am as much a fan of you as you are of me. So thank you. It is really an honor to join you at Rancho La Puerta in December, and I know we'll get into that. But my 20 years of culinary professionally, started when I was 8. My dad's a classically trained chef. I swore I'd never be a chef because the job of peeling onions was not enticing or fun. And, your friends were like, something smells like an onion. And no matter how much I washed my hands, I still smelled like an onion. Hello, Chef Sesabek and others in the audience joining us. Thank you for joining this community of Rancho La Puerta and Chef Reyna. So my mom's the best cook on the earth. I will just claim that now. Dad, don't get mad at me. So I was cooking very early on. My mom cooked from scratch. She had all her little stores that she went to before organic was a thing. She had a garden that she always kept in our backyard. And we knew if for some reason the cherry tomatoes weren't in the salad, not to ask about them because there are other creatures that get to share nature. And that's just how it went. So, fast forward, I really came through the door, what I call of veganism. I was natural bodybuilding for a decade.
Mm,
And one day I woke up and my body was like, we're not going to do any more animal flesh or animal secretions. I was like, what are you talking about? Where am I going to get my protein? So I love that question when people ask, where do you get your protein? Where are you going to get your beef? Because plants and vegetables and even some fruits and grains and nuts and seeds all have protein or amino acids, and we just have to get the right mix. So I say this because as a bodybuilder competing and donkey calf raising 800 pounds, there's no way I could have sustained if I wasn't getting the right amino acids, which is really what we need, the building blocks of muscle and all. So I rested better, I recovered faster, I kept competing, I felt stronger. So that's really my story. And I just knew that I wanted my lifestyle to match my work. So it was very, I'm going to say it was easy for me to decide I'm going to go into kitchens where I can cook vegan. And now we say plant-based, but plant-based doesn't necessarily mean vegan. So when
yes.
I say plant-based, just for the record, it means vegan, so I don't have to go back and forth. And I have just been blessed to, work around the world. As you said, last year in 2023, I was invited by First Lady Dr. Jill Biden to cook the first plant-based, or curate, because I didn't cook alone, curate the first plant-based menu in the history of White House state dinners for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is a strict vegetarian. He's from, India, and there just happens to be so many dishes that you can cook Indian cuisine that are plant-based with dal and lentils and millet. It was the year of the millet, so we had a millet marinated salad with all the seasonal vegetables because it was in June, so it was summertime. And First Lady Dr. Joe Biden said, I want to show the best of American cuisine. I was getting a lot of people going, oh, make this for the prime minister. He loves this. And it was all Indian cuisine. But when you go to India, Prime Minister Narendra is going to serve you Indian food, not American food. So
Yeah.
I enhanced it, as you know we can do, Chef Reyna. I enhanced it with Indian flavors, like we did a strawberry shortcake dessert, and the biscuit was cardamom, and then the strawberries were
Nice.
marinated in rose essence, and we had coconut whipped cream, and then Chef Susie, the pastry chef, the first executive female chef at the White House, and Chef Krista, the first executive chef female at the White House. So we were just power, standing there
Oh,
as the
yes.
press was talking to us. It was such a proud moment. It was probably the highlight of being able to join the White House. And they were so gracious. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden made me feel like, not that I could move in, but she sure made me feel quite at home. And it was, a memory and an experience I'll never forget.
Oh, I bet those experiences stay in your heart for
Yeah.
life. And I can see like how that beautiful inspiration and creativity that even though you're only working with plants, which is a long, long list, plants, spices, vegetables, fruits, how you get your inspiration from that and adapt. I love the idea about the strawberry shortcake with the cardamom. Like what I feel like there are many inspirations in your culinary career, but what could be like one of the ways on how you can twist things into becoming like a healthier version, where you get your inspiration from? Like, is there like a farmer's market? Do you grow your own herbs and you have a mini garden at home? Because I know you can grow really cool stuff where you are.
Yeah.
But like, what's your inspiration seasonally, let's
You know,
say?
I'm from Los Angeles, but I've been in Sacramento since 2018. I was recruited to come up and start a 5,000 square foot cafe for a healthcare group. And they're Adventist Health. So they already have vegetarianism in their kind of doctrine of their faith. And so they own the Blue Zones, the company that I worked with. And, the Blue Zones, when you look at the 5 zones, and now there's 6, Singapore has been added. Plant slant is what they talk about. And if they, over 20 years, really looked at the commonality of why these specific areas, Loma Linda, California, Okinawa, Japan, Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and Sardinia, Italy, and now Singapore, why these areas had the highest percentage and population of centenarians, people living over 100 years, and not just living, but thriving. And so movement and faith and tribe and wine at 5, except for Loma Linda, and just having a purpose along with food. But gardening was huge. So while I don't have my own garden right now because I travel too much and I'm like fearful that I don't have anyone really to maintain it, I go to the farmers market. Being in Sacramento, it's just wonderful because we have, people don't think in California we have seasons, right? But we do. And
Yes.
so I get a lot of inspiration from going to the farmers markets and seeing, we already know what's in season for the most part, but what do the farmers have? And then saying, oh, let me take this coyote and make this beautiful soup with it, or roasted, or in your case, I think nopales, and let's
Yes.
roast them and let's, season them and marinate them beautifully. And I know that, if I take a banana, a butternut squash, and you can make it almost like spaghetti, if people don't know, they don't
Yes.
know. So I get a lot of inspiration from sharing items, produce that I think our guests and our customers might walk by because they just don't know what it is, even if the stores have it, because that's where a lot of people still shop. We're trying to encourage them to get to farmers markets. And sometimes I like signing up for CSA, community sourced agriculture, because then you get things you don't know what's going to be in the box. So you have to be, willing to explore and figure out. And we have Google today. Google's our friend. So you can take a picture of what you've got. It will tell you everything. But that's where I pull a lot of my um, inspiration from, to stay new and fresh and, on top of things.
Yeah, that's great. I like the way that you said it, like how you create this community. When you go to your farmer's market, you meet the farmer, you know
Yeah.
where the produce is coming from, and then you get to learn from them also, like, okay, this new vegetable, like, okay, how can I cook it? How would you do it at home? Because, of course, if they're growing it, they will know how to cook it. So
Yes.
that's amazing. I think you're going to have a great time here with our head gardener, Salvador. He's going to love you. Like, he
I'm
likes to
going to
play a
love
little bit
him.
of tricks, and the chilies are always spicy, and the
Yes.
garlic is always spicy. There's no sweet garlic, FYI. But yeah, like that's a thing that I feel like we connected from I think the first time that we had a
Yes.
call, like the way that you talk. And even though, like, if we don't have the possibility to grow our own garden, which I don't have my own garden, I happen to work in the most beautiful garden in Mexico, right by the foot of the sacred mountain, Mount Kuchuma.
Mm.
But it's just like how we can keep on integrating those delicious vegetables that are
Yes.
grown in a healthy soil and that are base for this centenarian diets, which, by the way, like, we have a centenarian at home. So
Yes.
Senora Deborah, she's our founder here at Rancho La Puerta. She's 102, and like she really follows like this lifestyle, as you were saying, and she's like the living proof that the ranch magic works. So I'm so excited that we'll be able to meet her also
Yes. I've
in a couple
met
of
her
weeks in
before.
December. Oh, you
I
did? Tell
actually,
me.
a few years ago, she came
Hey.
to a Spa Connection event that I used to be the MC for, with a group of wonderful people, because I have a whole spa life, but we'll stay focused. And at that time, we were just all so inspired, and I continue to be inspired by her. And the point that you made, it is a lifestyle. It's not just a diet.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's why the Blue Zones and what Miss Deborah has done. I want to encourage people to embrace a lifestyle. And then people will say to me, Chef, and I'm sure you get this, so what do I have to sacrifice? You don't have to sacrifice anything, Because
Yeah.
while we're highlighting seasonal vegetables, of course, we've got, ancient grains, and some people know rice, or they know, I don't know, what else would they know? Rice, but
Yeah,
there's
well, in
amaranth.
Mexico,
Yes.
corn.
Yes,
You
corn.
know all the
And that's
ancestral
such a,
corn.
and it's such a staple. And I think to be able to eat something out of the ground, you can get it at the farmer's market, of course. That's the next closest if it's not out of your own ground, your own soil, your own farm or garden, or you can get it in a can, or you can get it frozen. So the more we move away from the soil, the more I think we move away from really realizing that every season, even though you have corn in the season, it may taste a little different. You know it's corn, but it has all these beautiful nuances because of the ecosystem that it's in that moment.
Yes. So, talking more about vegetables, like what could be like a trend that you see in the plant-based, vegetarian, vegan world? Because it's a thing I feel proud about that we're making much more conscious
Yeah,
about our health, and I know like plant-based might give a little more of how do you say it, like an option that you can still turn more vegetables into your plate and still keep maybe those guilty pleasures, and eventually when you're ready to commit
yeah.
and make that big step to becoming like fully vegan. But like how do you see it in the United States? Like it's I have seen it on a different perspective, maybe because I'm like in between two countries,
Right.
but I see even in the Mexican cooking, like a lot more presence of vegetables and like fine dining restaurants and like all over the
Yeah.
place. So what's your call on that? Like, is there like something that you think is happening? Like people are more aware about plant-based, vegetarian, vegan. What can you say about that?
I very much agree with you. And I think it's been, coming. It's not just like, oh, a trend happens and what's going to happen in 25. These things that start to really bloom, I'll say in 2025, have been happening. And you and I and other chefs and many people that gravitate to whole foods know this. But I think the trend is more people, like you said, being educated and awareness and access to more produce that is whole foods. We
Yes.
talk about, oh, well, I would never eat vegan. And I'm like, well, do you eat an apple? Do you enjoy an orange? Do you like tomatoes? I don't want to upset you, but did you realize they're naturally by default vegan, right? By the definition. And vegan is a lifestyle. So I'll defer to plant-based as a diet. Vegan is a lifestyle. So plant-based foods, I have for my lunch today, because after we talk, I'm quite hungry. I always build up an appetite when I know I'm about to go on and speak with someone. So I've got this mix of cabbage and grated carrots and grated zucchini. And I've also red, purple cabbage and green cabbage. But I've taken some bell pepper, and instead of putting them on the salad raw like I might do in the summer, I've just pan seared them. So I bring up all this umami that's going
Yes.
to add more flavor. And then I've taken, even though I have grated carrots, I've taken some carrots and roasted them.
Oh,
And I've
yes.
also roasted some
Sweet.
zucchini with seasoning, a little bit of olive oil. I've toasted walnuts, and I'm just going to microplane zest the walnut. I can break it up easy enough. I just break it up and put it in my salad. But I'm also I'm going to pull it over here so I don't make a mess that I have to clean up. I'm going to use my microplane. I think this is my secret weapon. I don't
Oh,
think people know enough about the microplane for zesting. We know we zest for, lemons, and
yeah.
I'm going
All
to just
citrus.
zest some lemon on the salad. My bowl is underneath me, everyone. I'm not making a mess, because the citrus of lemon or lime, even orange, you don't want to get to the white part. You want to stop there because it's going to get bitter, but it can just brighten up. And so as we move into the fall, we'll talk about these beautiful vegetables, but maybe we're going to roast them. Maybe we're going to pan sear them. Maybe we're going to braise them. And then I'm going to take my toasted walnuts and I'm just going to grate with the microplane. So it's very fine, but it just levels up the layers of flavor. So flavor is a trend. People want more flavor. So we're going to be adding more flavor. I've even just pan seared some apples.
Ooh,
So I didn't get them soft like I might if I put them in the oven and, we're doing an apple crisp. I just seared them because, again, it brings up, and this is sweet tart, right? So
yes.
now we're talking about these flavors and we're just adding a technique. So I think another trend is technique of cooking that makes it easy to put the salad together. I've grated a little bit of plant-based Parmesan, and I'm just going to do that on my salad. And I think we're going to see more fermented foods. This is not anything
That's
new.
so
This is
good for
ancient.
your gut. No, this is ancestral. Like
So probiotics
the
and adding that to this roasted salad. So now we have this very nourishing, very satiating, now I'll say fall winter salad, different than what we'll do in the summer where we need, more of the raw vegetables full of water to keep our body cool.
yes.
We were 120, 102, we got up to 117 this summer. I was not trying to turn the oven on. So trends that I see are more whole foods and access to them and showing people how to cook them quickly. It took me no time to pan sear the bell pepper. It took me no time to put the roasted vegetable, the vegetables in the oven to roast.
Yes.
People just need to know. And with plant-based, I'm always advocating for the subtle techniques like zesting, or you have a zester. You don't have to go out and buy one. You have your grater, and then you have these different, grades of grating. So this one is my finest. So I don't have to go out and buy another gadget unless you're a gadget lover.
Yeah.
But I see that happening. I see, there are a lot of alternative meats out there. And I say clean labels are going to be more of a trend. We've been hearing about that, but it's going to
Yes.
get to the masses. And also fungi and mushroom. I just had a beautiful conversation with my co-host Chef Sesevec with Louisa Vilela, and she has a company where she's making more accessible oyster mushrooms to people. And I think when people have the access and they don't have to run around and look for things or, spend a lot of money when they don't know if this is something they're going to like, that's going to really keep our movement going. I could say a lot about this, so I
Yes.
have to reel myself in.
No, but I love what you're saying and how like bringing this fresh ingredients into the seasonality, and it totally makes sense. Like it reminded me a little bit about Ayurveda and like
Yes,
how you eat with the seasons, and when it's hot you need to cool off, when it's cool outside you need to warm up your body. So like how you do that and this transition of the season,
yes,
from summer to fall. And I think we're going to see a lot of that on December when you're here with us, like a lot of warming spices.
yes,
We will have a lot of greens.
yes. I
I'm
love
looking
that.
here to my right, like just all the brassicas are just
Oh, I
planted
love that.
here to my right, and we are gonna have like 2,000 pounds, I'm sure, of that, because we try to produce the most vegetables and
Mhm.
fruits from this farm that we are able to source into all of our kitchens. So I know we're gonna have a lot of time to discover and enjoy and share also with our guests your delicious food. I can't wait to try it. And that I believe, like, if everybody agrees, like that shortcake with cardamom, like, I really like just thinking about it. I can't wait to try. Like, if you would like to place that on as one of your recipes, it could be on our Thursday dinner, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, that could be our
No,
little um, well, it's not a secret anymore because we're live on Instagram. But
the
I
cat's
am
out the
so
hat.
excited,
Yeah.
and also like having the opportunity. So we're gonna have two cooking classes with you, and then on Thursday we're gonna be cooking together.
Yes, I
So
can't wait.
so that we can have this beautiful meal also to share with everybody, paired with local Baja wines, which are very tasty also. And I'm gonna try to look into this small wineries. I'm gonna bring something special at the table, also talking about the local wine, like the best practices, the minimum intervention. Like there's a thing now happening here in Baja that we're looking more towards the natural wines with
Nice.
like minimum intervention. So I think that will go delicious with your food. And I don't know if you would like to share like something else. You're gonna be here the week of November. I mean, sorry, December 7th, and
Yes.
I know it's getting full, so we still have a couple spots left. But if you would like to share something with our community to come and visit during that week, so they can get to cook with you and learn all of this and much more secrets of your cooking.
Well, thank you. And I think they're going to be cooking with both of us because while I've been invited as the visiting chef, I'm thrilled to be in the kitchen with you, especially for our signature dinner. As I said, I think, I want to show people I love to cook. I was brought up with really great food. I love to eat. That's why I became a chef, really. People say,
Yes,
why did you become a chef? Because I like good food and I like
I
to eat food.
agree on
And
that
anyone
one.
that knows me knows that. And so I just
Yes.
know that our time together between the two cooking classes and then the signature dinner, where our guests won't have to necessarily cook and they can just sit back and enjoy what we're going to present to them, it's going to be taste that you can't even explain because it's coming from your farm as much as we can. And we really, I know you and I, we've had this conversation. We listen to nature. What are you going to provide us? We're not running to the store to say, oh, I'm going to make this. We have staples, our legumes and our grains and maybe our nuts and seeds, but then we're going to really lean into and take inspiration, as we've said, from the bounty of produce that your team and you are going to provide. And it's just going to be delicious. But I know when people leave, they'll leave with an understanding of how much power they have in eating food to live for versus food to die for.
Yes, that's a very good quote. Thank you for sharing that, Chef. Well, um, I can't wait to see you. Counting the days until December comes, and I hope that we are able to do this for many, many more years. Because you're always welcome to come visit us.
Thank
And
you.
to everybody that joined, thank you also for joining us and for wanting to become always better. That's our motto, siempre mejor. So like we're always trying to become better, even if it's a small action, just like which could be like starting to bring more vegetables to the plate, more
Yes.
herbs into our diet. I love the amount of color that's in that beautiful salad that you were just telling us. Like you're totally eating the rainbow. Like and I'm having like goosebumps on like how connected and how aligned we are. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing that with us, and can't wait to be for you to be here with us. I wish I could be there with you eating that beautiful salad like in 5 minutes, but Sacramento is a little
A
up
little
north.
far. At some point, we'll get to like TikTok videos where I can just jump through the screen and
Oh
I'll be with you
yes, and
and
we
we
can
can have the
dance.
salad together and we can do a dance. I just know for me, it's going to be such a wonderful reset to be on your property, the healing. I know the history of it. I know the, sanctuary that you offer. And again, I think any guest that is inclined and feeling pulled to join us, you're not only going to be cooking and having fun and having, beverages and feeling so renewed to step into because we are the week before Christmas.
Yes.
And then we're the 2 weeks before the new year. So no reason to wait to regenerate and restart your engines and just join us. I promise you, it's going to be something that you were not expecting, but you're going to be so delightfully pleased and surprised. And it will be a memory that you hold on to. That's my guarantee to you.
Oh, well, thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
To the audience also, and see you December 7th. This
Yes.
December 7th. Keep on having a wonderful time and a beautiful fall season. And thank you also for sharing. You can look on our blog. You shared the recipe, and I believe it's
Yes.
being posted. So
Yes. I'll
butternut, is
also
it butternut
repost
squash?
that. It's an
Yes. So
acorn
also,
squash with
yes.
apples and cranberry. It's so delicious. I'm going to make my salad before I dig into it and finish it. I'll take a
Okay.
picture of it and post it also.
Oh, yes, let's do that. And also, that's a great recipe you shared with us. It's perfect for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So we invite also everybody to download the recipe and look at that beautiful picture you shared with us on our
Thank
blog
you.
also. And thank you. It's always a pleasure to connect with you, Chef
Thank
Nina Curtis.
Thank you, Chef Reyna, Chef
Thank you
Reyna,
so
Chef
much.
Nina. I love it, and I'll
Yes.
see you soon. Thank you,
You
everyone who
too.
joined.
Bye.
Bye.